We're traveling back to the future for our year of 2015. That's right, friends. Today we are taking a look at Ultimate Marty McFly from Back to the Future Part 2, or as I like to call him, Future Marty, even though he's not from the future, but he's in disguise as his future self son, a future person. Anyways, sculpt on this guy is pretty good. Look at that hat NECA got that Marty wears when he's pretending to be his own kid, and then the jacket with the cool little texture on it, and then you got the little folds. And they even sculpted the inside-out pant pockets. That's so weird. I don't know why you'd do that in the future. It makes your pockets not usable. Like, why would you want that? Anyways, the unique thing about the sculpt, the rubber diaper here on the crotch, the blue part, and the shirt are all one big rubber piece. And there's like some articulation under there that's kind of useless, just like the first Marty McFly I reviewed. But it makes for a seamless torso, I guess. So, I mean, that's what the advantage is supposed to be there. Good sculpt on that jacket, and the texture continues all the way on the back. And I never noticed Marty's hair was like so much more bushy than the first movie, but it's like it really comes out over there. Anyways, the sculpt on the pants seems to be partly reused from the first Marty, but like then it must be a retool because this is also part of the shin here, and it's like a totally different thing to accommodate the shoes. And speaking of the shoes, like they sculpted most of the details from those futuristic Nikes he had in the movie, but like the swoosh is gone and the Nike text logo in the front is gone. And then also, like, I remember there being like a blue speckly pattern that is just totally not here. And then this bottom little ridge is supposed to be lights, so it shouldn't be the same color as the rest of the shoe. So, I mean, the paint's a little inaccurate on the shoes. I mean, I understand why the swoosh isn't there and the Nike text on the front isn't there. This front little strap, it like glowed blue, I think, you know, but they do have like a little bit of the glowing blue paint, like right here, these little dot things. It's like, I mean, if you're gonna omit the big glowing blue lights for the sides and the Nike text on the front, which, I mean, you could have made it say NECA or something, but I'm fine with them just leaving it off. But like, why bother with like the tiny little dots back there when you're like gonna leave off the majority of the blue speckles and the light up thing on the bottom? And it's, I don't know, I feel like I could have done better. Also, like, the pants seem pretty plain. Like, I don't think they have a wash, but if they do have a wash, it's really, really subtle. I mean, probably the most impressive thing about the paint, like I said earlier, this is one big rubber piece, which means this is molded in red and that this is painted light blue. So the fact that this matches the pants, which are sculpted in the blue-gray jean colors, they match so well, that is actually really, really impressive. Coming up to the face, I mean, paint on the face, pretty good. He still has that sort of open mouth kind of dopey look, but I guess he's pretending to be his dopey kid, so I mean, I guess it's okay now. And I like the wash on the jacket. It really brings out all little details in there. I mean, and it's subtle too, just like the first Marty. It's subtle, but it brings out all the details. Looks really, really good. And then I like the paint on the hat. It's like the hat was really reflective, I remember in the movie, and like it's not totally like that here. Like the yellow is pretty dull, but like look at that little pink purple section in the front and on the side there, like that sort of has the reflection bits that it did in the movie. So that is pretty impressive that you achieved all that with paint, NECA. Good job. Now for the articulation, Marty has a ball joint head, and because the jacket design is different, he can actually get back there a little bit better without it blocking him, although he has different hair, so it comes down further, and that kind of makes him squish his head back forwards. But side to side is very good, and swivels all the way around a lot better than the first Marty figure did. Shoulders are hinge and swivel. They go up less than 90, unfortunately, but they go all the way around. Elbows are double, and they swivel top and bottom, just like the other Marty I reviewed yesterday. And the wrists are hinge and swivel, which is good. Now the torso. Since there's just one shirt Marty's wearing in the second movie under here, it can flex a little bit better, but there's still no twist, which, I mean, why not just make these separate pieces? Like, look, they've got a perfect line right there, and I don't know. But even so, the diaphragm joint that's in there, it just gets squished back because of the big rubber piece that's on there. So what's the point, NECA, honestly? The hips are on NECA's improved ball joint system. He can do the splits so far. They are very squeaky. He can come so far forward and a little bit back thanks to the rubber diaper on the butt there. Knees are single hinge. They come about to 90 and swivel like so. And the ball joints are in the middle of the shoe in the Nike, which makes the blue pin there even worse than it was on Ultimate Marty from Part 1, but they pivot pretty good. I guess it's okay. Now the packaging for Ultimate Marty McFly is pretty much the same as the packaging that was for Ultimate Marty McFly. I mean, it's like exactly the same on the sides, except for the logo of the movie, and the same on the top. Has the little dates for when they traveled in the movies, and same on the other side too. The real difference is the front, whereas this one has the Drew Struzan poster for the second movie instead of the first movie, obviously, and it still has Drew Struzan's signature just behind the little 35th anniversary sticker. But if we peel it back, it says 89 down there because the second movie came out in 89, even though it's set in 85, but they kind of covered that up, I guess. Maybe it was intentional because like they want to maintain the fantasy that part 2's in 85, and at least before they get to the future. On the back, get a picture of the figure and some other figures in the wave, and now Doc Brown is coming, and it's cool. I want to see a Doc Brown. That's pretty cool. Open up the flap, and this is what I'm talking about. This little Velcro thing does not want to stick over here. It's supposed to stay like right there somewhere. Like, it's supposed to close like so, and then it just comes off. The glue is too weak. But we get a picture of the figure inside. This time it's in front of the Hill Valley little courthouse thing, the clock tower, and same picture in here, but zoomed in again with the foreground on a little trim in the front of the box, just like how it was with the first figure, only it's a different, picture this time. And funny enough, the hoverboard there doesn't have anything little logos, whereas the hoverboard that it comes with does. So we'll get to that when we get to accessories. But for now, let's open this bad boy up. Well, future Marty has 3 twist ties, just like first movie Marty did. I feel like these are a bit more twisty, though. What is going on with this one on the bottom? Like, would it kill you guys to just twist it one direction instead of, like, twisting it then twisting it again? Like, oh, so annoying. Okay. They're finally out, though. And now Marty can mostly just pop out, except you gotta pull his arms through, too, which is kind of pointless to put twist ties around the arms when the arms are already secured by the packaging. I don't get why there are so many twist ties, NECA. But otherwise, the packaging's okay, I guess. I mean, get to see the card insert in there a little bit better now that it figures out. I mean, I don't want the twist ties, and I wish the glue was stronger on the thingy, but I mean, same issues I had with the first Marty's packaging, pretty much. For accessories, Marty comes with the best one, which is the hoverboard, of course. An alternate peg piece for the hoverboard. Transparent support stand thingy. Alternate bottom piece for the hoverboard. An alternate head. An alternate hand. And this Pepsi-free bottle and a little glass tube, it came in there. Now, first accessory we're going to take a look at is, of course, the hoverboard, which, this is probably one of the coolest things they ever had in the movies. Now, NECA got all the little decals on this correct, except for 1 or 2. I mean, what this circle thing, that says NECA, there and there. In the movie, it said Mattel, but they couldn't make it say Mattel on this, obviously, because it's like a lawsuit just waiting to happen. So instead, they put NECA in there. Now, on the photo on the inside of the box, they just had, like, red circles that you saw earlier, but, like, I kind of like this solution better. This is pretty cool, actually. Also pretty cool, you can pull this piece out and pop in this piece, which has the peg on it for Marty's foot. And he has 2 peg holes down there, so you can put either foot you want on there, I guess. And squish them on. And then Marty's on the hoverboard. There's also these pieces, too, which, I mean, when I first pulled out this purple piece, I was like, what the heck is this thing for? I don't remember this from the movie. And then I took a look at the bottom of the hoverboard, and I was like, oh, I get it. You yank this guy off, which, is really flat and tight, so you might need, like, something to kind of pry it out with, I guess. There we go. And you pop this guy on, and it has this sort of hexagon here, which you can pop this ball into, and then Marty has, like, a clear little stand to hover the hoverboard on, which is all really, really cool. I love this, NECA. This is a really cool inclusion. I think maybe this could be a little more secure or something, but I mean, hey, it's working fine right now, right? Good job, NECA. Next up, Marty comes with an alternate hand, and I will say that this Marty is slightly easier to pop the hands out of. And we'll pop his alternate right hand on, and honestly, I'm surprised they bothered making alternate hands, because he only has one thing to grip, and like, why not just make this his default hand instead of giving him 2 really loose hands? I don't know, but this is meant for holding the little Pepsi bottle, and you gotta squish his hand open a little, slide the narrow part of the bottle in there. Ha ha ha! And now he's holding his Pepsi Perfect, whatever it was. I mean, let's take a look at that. So, in the movie, I think it was called a Pepsi Perfect, but this logo does not say Pepsi Perfect. It says Nenny Perfect, or maybe it's Peppy Perfect. I think it's like stylized P's. It's Peppi, which, is kind of cool because they couldn't do, a licensed product like Pepsi without their permission, obviously. But at least they got like the logo, which is tight enough to say perfect on there, which is pretty darn impressive, actually. And then it comes on this little glass tube thing like it did in the movie, but I don't know why you really need the glass tube. Marty can't hold it. I guess it's just kind of display it next to him, which, could be kind of cool. Anyways, last accessory is Marty's alternate head, which, is a lot like that first part Marty head with the open mouth and the sort of surprised what expression, I guess. It's what they're just going for with Michael J. Fox at NECA, I guess. But the hat head is when he's like impersonating his son. So thankfully that pops on and off with like a very clear click. And it's a little tough to pop on, but it's not too bad. This head, however, which is like the more confident, I'm going to throw that dumb hat away, Marty head, is really hard to pop on, but thankfully when you do, it's a very satisfying click. So it's actually like all the way on there and it's not coming off like too easily, like the first part Marty head. Sculpt on it's really good too. Paint's fine. I like this alternate head. I think the hoverboard accessory is the coolest of them all, though. That's like what knocks it out of the park in the accessories category for me. Scale time, part 2 Marty stands about 6.5 inches or 16.5 centimeters tall. Pretty much the exact same height as part 1 Marty, which makes perfect sense since this is the same guy just a few days later in new clothes. As always, here he is with my 6-inch Batman and Spider-Man, although this is a NECA figure, so he's in a 7-inch scale. And that makes him fit in very well with Rambo and Commando, Alien and Predator, Robocop and Terminator. Now, do I ultimately recommend the Ultimate Marty McFly from Back to the Future Part 2, friends? Well, heck yeah, I do. Look at him on that hoverboard. That thing is so cool. How can you not think that's awesome? Go out and get him right now. Okay, but seriously, like, the sculpt is very good. The paint's very good. I feel like there could be some more on the shoes, even if they're not going to get the Nike logos on there, but whatever. The accessories knock it out of the park. The articulation, again, is like a little subpar. I guess it's a little better in the torso since he just has like the one shirt and you can get a little more range, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because he can't hold the pose in the torso anyways and you can't twist the waist still. So, I don't know, if you're an articulation junkie, maybe pass it up. But I mean, look at that hoverboard. That thing is so cool. That thing really sends it over the top for me as far as I'm concerned. So I do recommend him. And I say go out and get him. And until next time, peace out, YouTube.